podcast with Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Welcome to the show, everybody! This is season 7, episode 7, lucky number 7, episode number 177. Wow. How is it going? Happy middle of August.
Wow. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. We're already in the second half of this year. That's weird.
Yeah. We're in the A, Jason's D.
Yeah. Time marches on.
But really, happy, as I like to call it, time to start planning for Halloween season.
Very true. Very true. I saw some candy in the store the other day. The kettle corn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. I did see it like Reese's Pumpkins. And it like didn't quite dawn on me that was weird. But yeah, no, about it, that's
weird. I almost bought some, and then I was like, okay, there's still August.
No, plenty of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were supposed to go to New York this past weekend, and my flight, so I got up, the flight got canceled. We didn't go. Spoiler alert. But it was sort of like one of those things, like the night before, I did 2 loads of laundry. I folded said laundry. I packed us all up. I took a shower. Had my clothes all laid out. Like, I was ready to, like, literally get in the, like, just, I was ready. I got up on time as soon as the alarm went off. Brushed my teeth, sat down to drink coffee, and you know how your phone goes into like that sleep mode or whatever, so you don't get even notifications?
Yeah.
So as I'm pouring the coffee with a good like 8 minutes to sit there before I had to wake everybody up, I turn it off that like a thing, and it's like, your flight's been delayed, your flight's been canceled, you've been rescheduled on this flight. And I'm like, so then I see that we're supposed to leave at 8, that the new flight is 8:33, and I'm like, all right, well, I've got a few extra minutes to, like, do my Wordle now. Cool. So I go to do that, and then, like, I go into my email, because before I'd been on the app, and I know that I have to, like, accept it, or accept or deny the changes or whatever. So I'm like, oh, let me do that. I go in, and I see that we're not actually direct anymore. We go into Nashville, and then we go all the way back up to JFK instead of LaGuardia. So I'm like, and we don't get in, instead of getting in at 10 a.m., we were going to get in at like 2 p.m. So I was like, like we're leaving at 5 o'clock the next day. Like,
right.
So I called my parents and I was like, I don't know, like, what to do about this. Like, part of me is like, that's a lot. And they were like, why don't you just, they were like, don't worry about it. My sister called. She's like, because it was her party for her kids we were going to. And she was like, don't do it. Like, just, because it was a lot of money to go up there. So anyway, I ended up canceling it. American gave me a refund for the whole thing, which I was shocked about.
As they should.
I know, but they
rescheduling.
They rescheduled. Right, but I figured that they were going to say, no, can't do that. You were offered another flight, blah, blah, blah.
Right, which is bullshit.
Which is what they always do.
You select specific times when you travel.
Yeah.
And sometimes you even pay more to like have those specific times. So,
yeah. So anyway, it says it'll take 7 business days to show up on my card, which is fine. But like, I was very pleasantly surprised when I put the request in on like 8 o'clock in the morning, or like 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And by Monday at like 9 a.m., they were like, here's your refund is approved. It'll be on your card in 7 days. And I was like, oh my God, I was fully prepared to have to fight for something.
Right. Oh, wait. Oh, I just, okay. You gave it to me? Okay. Cool.
No, I was like, huh.
Yes. Cool.
Let's
take this energy somewhere else then, I guess.
Yeah. But the thing that sucked was, so I was up at, we had to leave for the airport at 6:50 because we lived so close to it. So I was up at 6. All this went down at like 6:20 as I'm sitting there. And of course, Saturday is the morning that both of my kids slept until 7:30 and 8 o'clock. Oh, no. I was like, I'm awake and caffeinated. I could have been asleep right now. Why? Zachary comes in, stumbles into, like, out of his bedroom at, like, 8 o'clock, and he's like, hey, are we supposed to be on an airplane right now?
Sort of.
Yeah, basically, I was like, not anymore. Anyway, yeah, so whatever. That happened. I also got my hair cut this past week because, as you guys know, my hair has been falling out in clumps. And I mean clumps. Like, I go like this, and it's clumps. Like, I have to, every single morning, I have to cut the hair out of my hair tie because it's that's the quantity of hair that has come off from the day before. And it's just, it's like I had a baby. Like, that's how much it's falling out. Shower takes extra long because it's like everywhere. So anyway, I went to go get it cut, and I wanted to cut it like super short, and my hairdresser saved me from that. She was like, you really hated it last time you cut it really short. And I was like, I know, but she looks at me and she goes, hey, did you have COVID? Because you kind of look like you have COVID hair loss. And I was like, I did have COVID. And my hair did start falling out about 2 weeks after I got COVID. And she's like, yeah, I've been seeing a lot of women who had COVID that their hair is all of a sudden like falling out. And then I went back after work, after I got my haircut, I went back to work, and I told my coworker, and she was like, oh my God, my hairdresser told me the exact same thing, that she had seen a bunch of women come in with like hair loss due to COVID. And I remember reading about that last summer, where I was reading, I think I was reading some blog, and, you know, they were covering the story about reported hair loss. And, you know, the blogger was like, I have never tested positive for COVID, but I've had a lot of hair loss too. So I'm covering this story because I'm wondering if, like, you know, maybe I had COVID without realizing it, and I want to hear everyone's experiences in the comments. So that's kind of how, like, I was exposed to it, like, knowing about it. But, like, it never occurred to me ever. So
it would have never occurred to me either.
No,
yeah.
Me neither.
So anyway, cool.
What a strange illness.
Strange illness.
Did the hairdresser have any update on, like...
No, she didn't say. Like, okay. She just said she kept seeing it. She goes, it's just such a strange virus. You know, I talk to clients all the time, and everybody has some weird symptoms that are different than something else. And I was like, and, you know, as I told my mom and Jay, I was like, I'm just glad that my symptom is hair that will grow back. And, you know, it's not like a long COVID where I can't run anymore or work out. Or, you know, I'm happy that, like, you know, out of the things that could be a long-term thing, mine is something that, from what I read on the internet, generally women have been reporting, or people have been reporting, that it's something that, you know, lasts about 2 to 3 months. So.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I imagine there probably isn't that much long-term data on it.
Right. Because how could you have long-term data on something that's 2 years old? Everything is like anecdotal reports now.
Right. It's like sort of we're in the data collection part of the phenomenon.
Of the experience. Yes. Of the experiment.
Yes. As my grandma was like, do you think it's because you got the shot 3 times? And I was like, well, the last time I got the shot was November 30th of last year. So I don't think it's
100% not because you got the shot.
I was like, I think
the reason that you don't have worse symptoms are because you got the shot.
I was like, I'm pretty sure it was the COVID because, you know, I had that right before the hair started falling out in clumps.
You know, I'm no doctor or scientist, but...
Yeah. But it's funny because, like, I was just kept joking, like... And why is it the black hair is falling out? Why isn't it the gray hairs? And it must have
targeted.
Well, I know, but you know what? Some of them must
the gray hairs once they fall out.
Some of them, well, yeah, because I'm due to like get them covered, and I noticed that I haven't needed to, but there are teeny tiny little like white spikes that are starting, so I must have lost them at some point. And I just attribute it to like, wow, this temporary hair dye thing has really lasted a long time. Anyway, good times. If anybody else out there, I'm bringing this up because I would really love to know if anybody else out there has had, you know, the hair loss from COVID or not. And how long did it last? Because I was hoping cutting it short would stop it, but it hasn't, like, at all.
Yeah, I feel like just sort of shaving your head and starting over would probably be the only way to really. but
you know,
that's a big commitment. That's a big swing.
If I didn't have a forehead that needed bangs, I would consider that.
Yeah, I didn't have a lumpy, scarred head.
Yeah.
It's not a cute head under here. It's not cute. I'm a skin picker. Like, it's not cute under there.
Understood. Anyway, Shandy, how's the house? Amanda, how was your wedding? Your dress was very pretty.
Thank you.
It was.
I love that dress. But I like went back and forth about like, oh, am I gonna get a new dress? Like that dress is not really like a August weather dress. Like if it was like 2 weeks ago when it was 100 degrees,
right,
it's gonna be too hot for that dress. But it's like I love it, and I've really thought about this a lot. Like we're sort of at the age where people aren't really getting married in the way that like they were when we were in our early 30s.
Right. You mean we don't have 4 weddings a summer?
Exactly. Like how many more weddings am I going to realistically be going to in the next couple of years?
Right.
Maybe around 2.
Yeah, not that many. Like I
We're
feel
at
like
the divorce
everyone
stage.
I know is either married or not getting married.
No shade. But.
Yeah. So I couldn't justify buying a new dress when I had one that I really loved. So I'm glad it worked out. And it was just like the most fun. Again, like how many more opportunities of like one of your best friends in the whole world gets married? Like how many more times at this stage in our life are we going to get to do that? And it was just like so much fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good times. Well, good. I'm glad. And then the parents' night out at the hotel went A+.
It did. It was very nice.
You slept?
No.
Oh. You weren't woken up by a baby at ungodly hours?
Yeah, no,
okay. Well, there you go.
I lied in bed until 9:00. Couldn't sleep, but I didn't get up. I stayed there. So,
Yeah.
it was fine.
Yeah. That's the dream, though. Like, even just to be able to lie there, that luxury.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I used to do this all the time.
Yeah. Then I woke up to a text message from my mom, like, so how do you get your oven to work? Your dad, do you have to light the pilot light? And this was like from 2 hours ago. I was like, oh God, did they blow up the apartment? Thankfully, they figured it out.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
There was one weekend my parents were here, and we learned that my oven has a Sabbath mode. Where
So what?
it's a Sabbath mode, like
Sabbath?
Yes,
It doesn't work?
it doesn't work
What?
until like sundown on the end of the Sabbath.
For bad Jews that can't be trusted with their own appliances and not using them?
I guess.
Why?
I don't know.
I have so many questions.
We did too, because we had never heard of it before.
Right.
And we were like, what's SAB? Why does it say SAB? So we finally, like,
What does it all mean?
we were trying everything. We reset the circuit breakers, like just anything that we could think of. And then we finally just Googled it. And we were like, oh, here's Sabbath. Let me see. Sabbath mode. Yeah. Oven.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. It was interesting. Sabbath mode is a feature on many modern appliances that allows the appliance to be used for certain religious observations during specific holidays. The main function is to not let the operator accidentally use a feature such as a digital temperature readout or an ice maker on a refrigerator.
Okay. Huh. I guess when you put it in that context, that does make sense as like a useful thing to have.
Yeah, I wonder how many people like actually use it. Whereas, like, they're like, I'm good, I can regulate myself.
Right, because that's what
I'm not going to accidentally
sort of
make ice.
If you're Jewish, like, you know not to use your appliances on the Sabbath if that is how you practice.
Yeah, but we had definitely had this moment where, because every time my parents come is when we have electricity outages or snowstorms or... some kind of severe weather warning or no electricity again. Without fail. They have been here so many times in all of the houses where we've had electricity problems. So we just kind of were like, oh, this is again, you guys. Anyway, yeah, good time. So there's I'm just dropping knowledge today.
Yeah.
COVID hair, Sabbath mode.
Yeah.
Sabbath mode.
You learned something new.
Yeah. Shandy, how's the house stuff going?
It's good. I can't remember if I explained the HVAC situation on the podcast or not.
Yes.
So like it broke the day we signed, but technically the day before we closed. And so they had to order a part, and it was this whole thing. Got in, like it still hadn't come. We were just waiting for it forever, and we had to like do all these temporary, workarounds, and it wasn't very cool. And that's why I had this like the loud units last week. And then finally, so we've been going back and forth. This part has been taking forever. And the guy was like, the part. So luckily, the part was being paid for by the sellers because of when it broke.
Yeah.
Which was very lucky. He was like, the part, it costs a little bit more than half of what it would cost to put in a new HVAC. And ours was getting old at that point anyway. He's like, you could just use that as a credit towards like a whole new system.
Yeah.
And at first we were like, no, like we don't want to spend any more money. But then we had, a week, 2 weeks almost to like think about it. And it was less than I originally thought. And anyway, finally we decided just like, fuck it, let's do it. And it's in.
Nice.
Judging from the fact that it is the middle of August in the South and you're wearing a sweatshirt.
It was cold today, and yes, you clearly are letting that HVAC go to work.
No, I'm actually a little warm in this. I just always, I very often wear it because it's just cozy. But yeah, I feel like naked if I take it off and I only have a tank top on. But yes, it's like livable because we have a new HVAC system. So I think you guys up and running.
I think you made the right call, like for sure.
Yeah, I think you just explained like being a new homeowner, like in one story. It's like, we bought a house. This thing happened. We had to spend more money than we wanted to, but then we decided it was ultimately better for us, and that's what it's like to own a house.
Because the guy was really nice. He was like, I would just feel really bad if in like 4 or 6 months something else broke, and like it's going to be pricey. Like this is an old system, and things are going to break down. So we're like, okay. And it was funny because I was talking to him and I sort of like explained our like thought process behind it. And I was just like, this whole like world of HVAC is new to us. Like where we were living before, we didn't have an HVAC. And he just like looked at me like dumbfounded for a second. I was like, oh yeah, well, I mean, where we lived before was like 65 degrees year round, pretty much. Like, if we got up to 70, it was really hot. So it's like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, here you'll definitely need it.
Yeah.
So that's good. The house was sold with all of the appliances except for the dishwasher. They had put, even like on the listing, they're like, dishwasher doesn't work and we're not going to fix it. Like, fine. But we got a new one. It got delivered, and then they're coming to install it soon. So that's like the only, little loose end. And then, we need to just finish putting away our shit, but slowly and surely. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's nice though. Like I would want to pick out my own dishwasher.
Yeah. Like, I would have been fine with not spending the money on a dishwasher. But
at least it's what you want.
Yeah. No, it's cool. And it's like in our apartment. I don't know how it is for you guys, Amanda, but like I feel like our landlord always got just like the cheapest of the cheap piece of shit for every single appliance. Our refrigerator, I don't know how old it was because we were in there for 10 years, but it was there when we got there. So like God only knows. The dishwasher, our dishwasher like broke at some point in the early years of our renting there, and he replaced it. And I remember Frank being excited that like, oh, it might not be a piece of shit. And then it was just like, it's just like the cheapest of the cheap.
That's why I have the maybe like uncommon opinion, being like, oh boy, getting to buy your own dishwasher.
I think
right. Our crappy dishwasher was missing a part. They instead of just fixing it, they got us a new crappy dishwasher that was also missing a part. So
no
they had to
fucking
come
way.
back literally like the same day to fix the brand new dishwasher.
My God.
Like it's like impossible to clean. Like it's literally built to be dirty. It's just like, why is this even made?
Yeah.
Like, why do poor quality products even get made?
So the shitty landlords, I mean, and I shouldn't say, it's not that my landlord's shitty. He gave us back our deposit, which I was like, dude, if you don't give us back our deposit. I happen to know that number 5 of a couple of iterations ago set the building on fire and they got their deposit back. So if you don't give us our deposit back.
Oh my God.
Yes. They were my friends. I didn't do any recommendations after that. But yeah, that's why these things exist, so that landlords can buy just the shittiest stuff and just like squeeze out
capitalism. That's why it exists. Capitalism.
Yeah. Yeah. Did I tell you guys my rent situation? I was going to say my rent situation. No longer my rent situation, but did I tell you about my rent? The prices for my rent?
No.
Okay. So, full disclosure, I had the best deal. We had. Frank and I had the best deal in Monterey. And my landlord, again, not a shitty landlord. Like he looked me in the eye the first day that we met and told me he would never raise my rent, and then proceeded to do it 4 times over 10 years. But hey,
which
overall
4 times over 10 years is actually not that bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah. But he said never.
Like, yeah.
Don't tell me never.
I mean, 4 times is not never. So
yeah.
Right. But anyway, so our rent did not increase. Like we started off with a good deal and then it didn't increase at the same rate as everyone else's. So by the time we left, we were at $1,500 a month.
What?
Which again, I know, best deal in town.
For 2 bedrooms and a pair of, and a flight of stairs?
Yeah. And like centrally located, like
wow. Okay.
10-15 minute walk to downtown. Like it was a really good deal. I will give him that, but depressing that that's a good deal, honestly. But anyway, and then we couldn't move anywhere because everywhere else was just like astronomically more expensive. So we're, but anyway, so it was at $1,500 by the time we left. And he had just moved it up to $1,500 like 2 months before we left. So that was even recent from $1,400. I was very curious. So, of course, after we moved out, like a couple weeks later, I was checking the Craigslist. He listed it after we left at $2,150.
Wow.
Which, like, I think we can agree that that's more similar to whatever the market value of the time, blah, blah, blah. But seriously, an increase from $1,500 to $2,150, like, fuck that.
You guys listened to that episode of The Daily when they talked about inflation, and one of the people they interviewed was a guy that lived in like New York or New Jersey, and he had an income property, and they were gonna raise it like super jacket like way up high because they could. They were like, well, we could do this, but like that would match what the new costs are with inflation, but like really everything else is selling for so much more down there that we could really afford to raise it even more. That wouldn't be in proportion with.
Yes.
Because literally you said $2,500. I was like, oh, that's still pretty cheap. Is literally the thought I had.
Yeah.
When we, not to whatever, because I have not looked at what it is now, but I would be very curious. When we lived in our apartment, we had the 2 bedrooms, which was technically 1 bedroom and a den, but it was 2 bedrooms. And we paid $721.
Yeah, that's like when I was.
And Amanda, remember,
like any apartment I've ever lived in New York City,
we paid
I have slept on mattresses on the floor in a closet.
Didn't we pay $850 each in Astoria, or $800 each?
Yes, because then I went to 7th Avenue and actually paid more for a smaller room with a window.
Oh my God! Ugh. I loved that apartment. It was super cute.
It was a very nice apartment.
Like, for what it was.
For what it was. It had plumbing issues, but
But we did have the roof, and we did have our neighbors downstairs that were hilarious.
They were so sweet. They were such nice guys.
Yeah, they were.
And like two decent-sized bedrooms with closets and windows.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's back in the day.
20s in New York City. That is.
That's funny. It's funny that you mentioned closets because the inspector, when he did the inspection here, I was talking to him, met up with him at the end. He like just mentioned that like for a room, and I don't know if this is like a North Carolina thing or what, but he mentioned that for a room to be considered a bedroom, it has to have a closet.
New York, that's interesting. It has to have a window.
Well, I mean, it should certainly have a window like that you can escape from, not like a small, like you have to be able to fit a body out of it, right?
Again, I have lived in rooms that aren't technically rooms because they don't have a window because they have a crawl space. Gross.
Yeah.
But that's New York City living for you.
Well, our house is weird because the basement was finished to sell it, as you all know, and the half of the square footage down here like doesn't count. Like that room where Jay has band practice doesn't have any windows, and I don't think that counts. I think that or it doesn't count like towards the bedroom count. So like if we were to list it, I think it would
a
still
bonus
say
room.
I think it would still say 2 bedroom or 3 bedrooms because the upstairs bedrooms and the ones down here I don't think count for whatever reason, but I think they count towards the square footage. I think that might be what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
There was something weird with it.
There were a lot of houses that we visited that had bonus rooms, and I was trying to figure out, like, for me, I thought that a bonus room was like maybe a room downstairs, not that there are downstairs is here, but like a room that doesn't have like an egress window that you can get out of. That would be a bonus room. So it's not a bedroom, but it's a bonus room. But then there were plenty of rooms that we saw that for me seemed like rooms. Maybe now that I'm thinking about it, maybe they didn't have closets. Maybe that's why they were called bonus rooms, but it was very, very confusing. But then you end up with, I mean, if you're going to, like, if you could use it as a bedroom, I don't really understand the difference, but yeah. Anyway, speaking of houses, I have, now that like all of the houses that we put offers on, like all 5 other ones have sort of like gone through the process.
Yes.
Now I've been like looking up to like see what they actually sold for.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm so like #universe happy about how things turned out because I love this one.
I told you.
Our house. So much better.
Out in the
and the neighborhood and just everything. Like I just love, it's just perfect for us. But it's really interesting to see some of the others. There was one that like we made the same offer for the price of the house. So that I'm like, I wonder like how much they put in cash or like what are you like? I wonder what the particulars of their offer were because we definitely put the exact same offer down. Some of them were like, oh wow, they put like 5 over asking and they put, I don't know, 13. Like
yeah.
Like, we were never gonna get that one. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
My coworker today was telling me her friend and her fiance, they bought a house and they went for a lot over asking price, and the appraisal came back and it came back a lot lower. And
that's exactly why we weren't.
That like bucks up their loan, and they were trying to see if they could borrow money from family to help cover because they'd have to put more money down. I was like, well, good on them that they're still trying because I would have walked away.
But it depends how much due diligence they've already put down. Because
that's true, because if you put a lot down, you lose it.
Exactly. Our realtors were telling us that like even 6 months ago, people were still getting houses with like putting down like $1,000 due diligence. So like I could walk away from $1,000 if there's like that much extra money.
Right.
With. But like we put a lot more than that and had to in order to get something. Like we couldn't walk away.
Yeah, that's
true. If we had to walk away at that point, like we just wouldn't have been getting a house.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even stop to think about how much they put down.
For like housing being like a necessity, really, like we have deemed housing is something that people need to live a healthy, fulfilled life.
It's almost criminal to like not to like be on the street. Like those people are almost criminalized. So it's like
and so the fact that it is so difficult to buy a house right now. It's just like it's bananas.
Yeah.
Well, and even to rent, like I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
So
at least
people
prices
who are looking right now.
Prices seem to be starting to come down in my immediate area. And I only know this because there's a house in that neighborhood behind us, which is a really nice neighborhood to begin with. Like those houses when they were built new, they were selling for like 600, plus. And one of them has had an open house 2 weekends in a row. So I was real curious after I saw that. I was like, why is the house in this neighborhood like taking so long to sell? And they had dropped the price. And then I just started, in general going through realtor.com because I like doing that sometimes. And I did notice there were a lot of down arrows lately. Shandy, I understand. It took me after we bought this house, it was a good 3 years before I went back on Realtor just to snoop around. Yeah.
I still look just to make myself feel bad.
Well, I told you that I put in my entertainment section of my house, but now, so that's how I used to use it. Now, I didn't look really anymore either because it was I need to be happy with what we got. And you can't see something and be oh my God, but what if, so,
especially you're
but
in the honeymoon phase right now with the house. You can't be, you can't be stepping out with other houses.
Yes, exactly.
I was just so curious though, to see what those other houses went for.
Yeah, no, that I would have super snooped on. Yeah.
There was this one that we bypassed my sister's house on the way here and made a beeline so that we could see it in person because they were closing offers pretty soon, and we loved it so much, and we got way outbid on that one. And I was just I think they put 20 over asking and most of it in cash. Yeah. And we were so bummed. But I was looking at the pictures today when I found out all of that pricing information. It's just this is not, it's not that great. Our house is better.
Yep. It all works out the way it's supposed to.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. Well, yay. Before we move on, I have a couple of announcements. As you all know, we're going to be live for the patrons next week. So for the Hangout level patrons, we would love for you to join us. The following week after that, the week of August 30th, we are off from live recording, but the bloopers will be out on September 2nd. And then we will be talking about Russian Doll season 2, but figure the whole series anyway, all two seasons of them, on Tuesday, September 6th. And then the following week, September 13th, we will also be off. So, and there will be no new episode that week. So, yay!
Hooray!
Cool.
If you guys have any time, because they're super short, totally recommend Girls 5 Eva season 2.
So with our internet before, we had whatever
Peacock.
Peacock.
Don't worry, I've logged into Paramount 3 times over the last week and been not Paramount.
It's all very confusing. It's basically it's just like television all over again. It's just trying to keep them all straight.
All the things.
Exactly.
No, but we used to have it with our internet, but then that internet provider isn't here, so we have different internet and we don't have any channels with it. So that's my problem now.
Okay, well, if you can get a free trial under new something.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah, we just have too many streaming services. I feel like we can't have one more. Morally, I just can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I'm definitely there too, but I could maybe do the free trial and just binge it. Because I did enjoy the first season a lot. And
the second season's really good too.
Okay.
There's
once we get through Russian Doll.
Yes, there's some solid jokes. And songs. It's pretty good. I
do like jokes and songs.
Yeah.
These are things I like.
Yeah. Just saying. That's all. No spoilers. I haven't finished the last episode, but I know I'm going to love it because I love the rest of it.
Nice.
And I'll probably watch it either after we're done with this or tomorrow.
Okay. You know what else you're going to love is the closing credits of the most recent episode of Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, we're going to watch that when we're done, actually.
I need to get on that.
Although
I'm so behind on the television.
It's so good.
There's a lot of TV.
I really want to watch it. And I started it, and it's just,
I know the problem with that is
life has opened back up again, and it's very hard to find time to watch.
I know.
That's fair.
I would recommend though when you go through a TV lull to catch up on that because it's just like I know we keep saying it. It's just really fun. It's just really fun TV.
Yeah. I really did like the first couple episodes I watched. Like it wasn't like just sort of like life happened and I wasn't able to get back to it. It's not because I was like bored by it or not enjoying it. That was not the case.
Steve Martin said that he is retiring after this show is over.
I kind of saw that.
Yeah.
So does that mean that this is the last season?
No. After the show is over, the series.
So
like this is the last. This is the last project he says he's going to do, like for TV or film.
It's a great way to go out.
I know.
That's actually pretty smart to like go out with a hit.
Yeah. Anyway, those were the announcements. I guess moving on, there was this very heated argument on the internet. So remember a couple years ago we had sock, shoe, shoe.
Yes.
Yes.
Was that an internet thing or was that just us thing?
That was a got thing and then it became an us thing. But like somebody tweeted this yesterday and it went viral and it really got me thinking. Okay, here it is.
Okay.
My family is currently in a heated argument because this actually like even a lot of like blue check mark, like, big names on Twitter were weighing in. And I was just really surprised because it's a question, and when I had the answer in my head, I was very much like, well, duh, this is the answer. And I was very surprised when people weren't agreeing with me. So that's why I think this is the perfect topic for the broadcast. So everybody out there, stop, pay attention, and then write down your answers and send them to us. Okay. My family is currently in a heated argument. Help me out. You're back in high school. What folder colors do you assign to your classes? The subjects are math, science, English, and history. And the colors are blue, red, yellow, and green. Go.
No purple?
No purple. Just
I'm seeing
those four. How about we all take a minute, write down what we think, so that way.
Hold on.
Okay.
So wait, can you?
My desk is too small. I have to take everything off it to record. Hold on.
No worries.
You'd think 2 years into work from home, I would have bought myself a new desk.
No worries.
I have not. Okay. What is it again?
So we got math, science,
English, and history.
English, history.
And then the colors are blue, red, yellow, and green.
Do we have to answer like how we would have answered as a high school student, or
no, just
how
now,
we would
like
answer today?
How would you, if you today were going to high school, what would you pick for your colors?
Okay.
And given that we did school shopping for Zachary 2 weeks ago, and I specifically picked colors out with subjects in mind, this really spoke to me. And apparently, I've never actually checked to see if his corresponding folders match up with the topics, but let's just say they learned about like the skeletal system like their first week of school. And you guys know this, but it was like the second or third day of school, and Zach was like, "Mommy, how is a belly button formed?" And we went through it. I mean, we pulled up pictures of babies in the womb with umbilical cords. We pulled up pictures of actual umbilical cords right after they're born. I showed them the picture of. There's no pictures. The doctor cut Zach's because he came out blue, but Jay cut Alex's umbilical cord. So, I showed him pictures of them right after they were born with it like all clamped off. And then I showed pictures of after it fell off because, the little nub falls off like a week after you're born. So I was like, I thank God I took all these pictures of Zach. I had like 0 pictures of Alex, but I was like, look, there's your thing when it fell off. And I showed him his newly formed belly button. I was like, and look, now you see how it's formed. And he was like, ew, this is kind of cool, but also kind of gross. And I was like, you're welcome. Go to sleep now.
Don't have more dreams.
How cool to be like learning that kind of stuff for the first time.
Yeah, well, because it also started, the conversation started the night before where he asked me if, he's like, hey, did Alex's soft spot close? And I was like, the soft spot in his head? And he was like, yeah, remember he had a soft spot? And I was just like, yes. Why do you ask? Because we're learning about, he's like, we're learning about the skeleton in the school. And I was like, interesting. Now, I didn't know what extent they were learning the skeleton. I assume that, she didn't start the lesson with, all right, kids, here's how your skull is formed. It's really soft so your mom can push you out of her vag. And then and then your plates close up when you're a few years old. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they dove head in. I don't know what was Gherkin's teaching, but he's listening.
Man, now my brain is like, I'm like, wow, did I take umbilical cord pictures? Did Daniel cut the umbilical cord? How did that happen? I don't know. I really don't have any memory.
Yeah.
Magnesium is a hell of a drug.
Magnesium's a hell of a drug.
It is like, I have very little memory that is not very cloudy.
Yeah.
When we're on a break, I'm gonna go ask him. I want to know who cut the umbilical cord because I genuinely don't know.
Well, because Jay
did
wanted.
I do it? Maybe I did it. I don't know.
After Zach, that happened all so fast that there was no expectations for Alex. So when they were like, I don't know if he helped catch him or not, but like he was down like. He was a lot more involved with Alex's birth than with Zach's, because Zach's was, I had no idea what I was doing. But yeah, so when they were like, do you want to cut it? He was like so just shocked and happy. Like I was in a daze, and I remember seeing that. Like that's a moment that's clear to me still. Maybe I imagined it in like my laughing gas haze. It doesn't work, but I just remember him being like, "Oh my god, really? I can do that? Sure." But yeah, so then he was like, "What does it feel like?" I was like, "I don't know. I just pushed it out of me. Go ask Daddy."
Couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you. All right. Anyway, what do we got? I've got mine. You guys ready?
All right. Yes.
Amanda, are you ready?
I am. Yes.
Okay. Math.
Red.
I said green.
Really?
That was the one I didn't really have a strong. Actually, none of them had a really strong.
Oh, I had strong.
About.
I had strong feelings.
I had strong feelings for math.
I would have thought I would have, but I
had strong feelings
about it logically, and that was the one I sort of.
Okay.
English and math, I didn't have strong, so I just kind of like went with my gut.
I had strong feelings for math and science. English and history, I could be swayed, but math and science,
Okay.
So what do you guys have for science?
Green.
Green!
Yeah, I almost picked blue. I actually have it crossed out.
Yeah.
Because I think part of my... Yes, like the ocean, but green also like, nature.
Yeah, I kind of went with like... Green.
Yeah, we both went with a nature thing, but just we came at it from
different.
That's like the Earth is covered by mostly water, which is blue.
True.
That's why I went.
And I think that's why I went with blue first. But then the colors that were left over, I wasn't really seeing it. I think part of the problem is that I wouldn't pick yellow as a color here at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I went with green because green just seemed like science, like Bunsen burners and beakers and trees and science things.
Earth science.
Yeah. English.
All that just blue. I don't disagree.
What did you guys do for English?
I went blue for English.
I did yellow, mostly out of just process of elimination.
Yeah, that's fair.
I also did blue, and that's because I always felt like English would be purple, but purple wasn't an option, and blue was the closest one.
Thank you. Yes.
Now, why?
100%.
Because purple is your favorite color?
Maybe, but...
Kind of. Well, I think because also there's and this is where we are all, impregnated in our very, gendered society. Because I think something like English is more associated, and the liberal arts, it's more associated with feminine, and something like math is more associated with the masculine. And that's bearing out in the colors. I think so.
I didn't go there. I just, I always assigned English with the blue, purple tones. I don't know.
Okay.
But I do believe that I do believe, actually, that I have done yellow for English before and blue for history, but I don't know. I was just feeling like,
Okay.
And then, obviously, cross-elimination. Does that mean you had red for history, Amanda?
I did.
I had yellow, and Shandy, you had to have yellow, too, then.
Yep. We had the same.
You had the same.
Crazy. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so I went red, and this is like kind of weird as to why I associated red.
Yeah.
When I think of like old bound books, they're usually like a red color.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like a Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I went history and red.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I also like Bordeaux, drinking it.
Yeah, that too.
Which, okay, and I said that we were impregnated in culture.
Yeah.
Is that, can you say that in English? Probably not.
I don't know, but you did. So
But you know what I mean, though?
Yeah,
we're like,
look,
we're swimming in it.
You said
we're
it.
swimming in it.
We knew what you meant, so therefore...
I bat an eye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I said it, and then for like 10 good seconds, I was like, what the fuck did I just say?
Nah.
But
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, totally fine. Oh, so anyway, everybody out there, send us what you think, because I think this is super fun. I like this.
yeah, no, it is. It is.
Okay.
And this was
I like it.
such a big thing that was trending this weekend, where so many people just got into it. It just really reminded me of our sock shoe debate.
Yeah.
These are the kind of
get
debates
it.
that I like to see on Twitter.
Yeah. We just
like
need lighter
fun.
fare.
Yeah.
Things are so dark and heavy and awful. And we just need mindless,
Yeah.
low stakes,
Exactly.
friendly spirited debate.
Exactly. Hey, speaking of, there was this amazing Twitter thread that I did send you guys this weekend.
Yes.
And it was
Yes.
replace a word in a movie title with espionage.
So good. And all of the answers that I saw were so good. And then you were like, we can think of some on our own. And I was like, yes, we can. And then I did not do that.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't.
And I
either.
am not quick on my feet.
Okay, everything that I
They're
thought
hilarious.
of was basically covered in this. Yeah.
There were some really good ones.
There were, for example, basic espionage.
So good.
The Shawshank espionage. It's a wonderful espionage. The age of espionage. Lawrence of espionage. Apocalypse espionage.
Or espionage now.
Espionage now. That's even better. What else? Indiana Jones and the Last Espionage.
Indiana Jones and the Espionage of Doom.
Oh yeah. Actually, that one is actually probably. So one of them was Espionage Club, and somebody responded, "First rule of Espionage Club: one of you talk to the FBI." Oh, good times. Also, last night, a whole lot of people learned what Crudité was, thanks to Doc Oz. Have you guys not seen that? No.
I mean, I do know what crudité is because...
You guys haven't seen the Doc Oz thing?
No, I try to avoid anything that has to do with that a-hole.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no. But you need to watch this like now. I'm going to send you a link and you need to watch it. It's about 30 seconds long. So Doc Oz tried to film, he's running a terrible Senate campaign. He tried to film a video yesterday where he was like, really like it's Biden's fault about inflation. However, he was grocery shopping in a store called Redner's, Redners. So just keep that in mind. And decided that he was going to make a video. And, well, we'll just, let you guys watch that. Take that from there. I can't believe I haven't seen this. This was so funny last night. Jay and I just went down all of the things that were trolling it. And it was pretty incredible. Okay, coming at you on your phone.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, where did she send it?
So he is trying to be a man of the people and not a multimillionaire who doesn't even live in New Jersey.
Who doesn't even live in Pennsylvania.
He
lives in New Jersey.
He lives in New Jersey. And
he doesn't even go here.
He doesn't even go here.
He doesn't even go here.
Okay, ready? Everybody watch. Go.
Thought I'd do some grocery shopping. I'm at Wegner's, and my wife wants some vegetables for crudité, right? So here's a broccoli. That's $2. Not a ton of broccoli there. There's some asparagus. That's $4. Yep. Carrots. That's $4 more. That's $10 of vegetables there. And then we need some guacamole. That's $4 more. And she loves salsa. Yeah, there's salsa there. $6. Must be a shortage of salsa. Guys, that's $20 for crudité, and this doesn't include the tequila.
What?
I mean, it's outrageous. And we got Joe Biden to thank for this.
This doesn't include the tequila.
What do you think he's making?
Right, at Wagner's. First of all,
isn't it Wegmans?
It's Redner's. So he confused Wegmans and Redner's and called it. But you can tell at the beginning of the clip, he knows he has the wrong grocery store name, but they don't stop and refilm it. This wasn't a live stream. It was a video that was released. It wasn't live.
Just real lazy. Also, for the record, that is not crudité.
No. So the best
whatsoever.
The best were all the replies that were like, bro, you just had a veggie tray. Somebody posted a link to it on the Costco website, and they were like $5 at Costco, where people that are actually on a budget know to get it.
Oh no. God, he's terrible.
It was so dumb. So anyway, Fetterman releases a picture of they went to, I think, this grocery store and bought a veggie tray, and they were like, this is the best $8 we've ever spent.
But did it come with tequila?
But it didn't come with tequila. Which is also like, I'm sorry, what? Like, did you think that crudité was like Mexican? And you were like, we just really love to eat vegetables, raw asparagus and salsa, and drink tequila.
You went for guacamole and salsa.
Right? Tell me you haven't been grocery shopping ever without telling me you haven't been grocery shopping ever.
I mean, it's a banana. How much could it cost?
$10? Salsa? What is there, a shortage of salsa?
Joe Biden's fault.
The great salsa shortage of 2022. Salsa is the new toilet paper.
Everybody knows that salsa that's in the produce section is more expensive. Everybody knows that.
Also,
there's no preservatives in it.
I'm surprised that he didn't grab like an avocado and be like, I guess I have to mash this into my own guac because I'm a poor person like you.
Gotta mash this avocado to make applesauce.
Also, raw asparagus. I grill my asparagus or air fry it. And I gotta season that shit, but I do it because I know it's healthy. I cannot imagine eating asparagus raw. Like, kudos to you if you could do that.
Yeah, not the best.
Well, but if he wants to, actually do, a crudité plate...
It would be raw, yeah.
You would boil it, and then you would also... Or blanch, yes.
Yeah,
better.
blanch it.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
And then you would have a vinaigrette, so it wouldn't just be
I'm all for the blanching of vegetables. That's good.
I think my other favorite comment was somebody, retweeted it. It was like, my grandfather once told me that crudité was his favorite thing to eat after a long, hard day in the steel mill. Oh, my God.
Oh, dear.
Yes. So anyway, in a world where everything sucks... At least we've got somebody that sucks so badly that everyone feels good trolling him.
I just really want to know what he thought he was making.
Yeah.
Like what he thought crudité was. It's like, it's something with tequila. Like, what did he? He really had something in mind. Like, what was it?
He's probably like, I know my maid brings home things from the store, and they look like she washes them, so it must be broccoli.
Like a spiked green juice? Like, what is...
Again, why the tequila with it?
Like, he clearly had in mind, like, what he thought it was.
I don't
And it's like, I like a Bloody Mary, but with, like, tequila?
Right?
Is that what he thinks he's making?
I mean, you know, if tequila is your drink of choice, clearly Dr. Oz is a tequila and tonic man. And you know, we all like our things that we like. Totally fine. That has very little calories, from my understanding. But
No, tonic water has more calories than you think.
I guess maybe club soda, because I do the 0 calorie
club
club
soda,
soda.
And tonic water are two different things.
They are. You are
Tonic water
correct.
has like a lot of like sodium and stuff.
Very, very good point. Very good point. Because I've done the tequila and tonic before. Except club soda. Tequila with the club soda before.
Yeah, I was gonna say like tonic and tequila. That's a lot. That's a very opinionated drink. I feel like that is a lot of flavors coming at you.
But tequila and club soda is actually pretty good. We went through a very brief.
That's probably very refreshing.
Yeah, we went through a very brief phase when I worked at the law firm. My boss there, he was a tequila and club soda person, and I bought it to try it once, and it, we both liked it for that like week that we had it, that we drank it. It was fine.
Some fresh lime in there.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be nice. I'd rather just have the margarita though.
I know, right? But I guess if you don't want the calories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but if you don't use the mix, like I am all for just
That's
the
true.
lime juice, like the fresh lime juice and a little agave.
Yeah, we did the
Tommy's margarita. That's the stuff. That is the stuff right there.
Yeah, for National Margarita Day, we found one on Pinterest that was had it was like all natural and lower calorie version. But all right. Anyway, on that note, let's take a quick break, and then we will come back and we will do some feedback.
Yes.
Sounds
Woo-hoo.
good.
All right, we are back. We're ready to get into a little bit of feedback here, starting with the Facebook feedback. Mandy says, for the Super Bowl, I got Maddie a Joe Burrow cardboard cutout. He used to live beside her bed until he scared the shit out of me one morning. He's been relocated to a different wall in her room, and she put a picture.
That's really funny.
And Jessica shared the story that we read last week about the Jeff Gordon cutout with her.
Yeah.
Mandy also gave a list of book recommendations that I had been asking about. The first one is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Never Never by Colleen Hoover. Not one of my faves, but it has a mystery element that Colleen would enjoy. The Last House on the Street by Diane Chamberlain. That is one I've seen at Costco, actually. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And I have seen that one at Target quite frequently.
Someone else has talked about this book in my general presence. It sounded very interesting, if it is what I am in fact thinking of.
Okay. The next one is The Last Flight by Julie Clark. Then The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. And The Dream Job by Kirsten Modglin. So thank you, Mandy. And she had a really positive feedback from that as well on the actual Facebook feed. So I also had gotten a message from Kate who we talked about how I wish that she lived in my neighborhood so I could just use her as my free little library. But she gets a lot of her books from the actual library, so she is a girl after Shandy's own heart.
Yup, just picked up 3 today.
Nice.
Because I finished that book about near-death experiences, and I highly recommend it.
Awesome. So thank you for that, Mandy. Matt had more good news. Scotland becomes the first country to offer free menstrual products, which I had seen this NPR article earlier as well. Thank you for sharing it, Matt. That's exciting. It's basically, so that nobody has to be like period poor. So cool.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, Maggie had sent us a YouTube video of men experiencing period pain. I'm going to put this in the show notes, so feel free to watch it and send us some feedback, and maybe we could talk about this next week. It is a Canadian news show with 2 male anchors who had a period simulator. So, good times. Thank you, Maggie. We will talk about that one next week. Before we move on, we've got a bunch of emails. Let's do some That's What She Said.
Glad to know I'm not going to be sweating.
Come on in.
Maybe we could do 4.
Something about the front. I like that part.
Page 134, baby. Sorry.
I thought I was going to get drenched.
I'm going all the way to the end.
How fun would it be to have friends over and do it?
Probably tap out at that second one.
I just want to be on it. I just want to be on
We could do it.
Sorry. I just want to be on it.
We could do it twice.
I am in it. I am there. I am ready to party.
I'll take anything.
You just got deep there.
I challenged myself to get the whole thing in 10 minutes.
I'm super good at it now.
I wash my hands with soap before I do it. I wash my hands with soap 3 times while I'm doing it.
Get all of that in.
Pretty good one.
That's a really good crap.
This was very funny.
What were we talking about with the soap?
God only knows.
I don't know.
There are many things that I wash my hands before I do, but not while I do.
I think I was talking about maybe cutting a rotisserie chicken.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yes.
Because that is an activity that I do. That I wash my hands a lot because it's so gross. All right, moving on to butter emails. We've got one from Brian, the non-DP specialist.
We sure do. It is entitled Time to Pray. All right. And Brian says, "Good day, Amanda, Colleen, and Shandy. How is the world treating you this week? Still digging the new house, Shandy?
Yes,
Did the first choir practice go well?"
I did.
Oh, yay.
That is so good to hear. I know, we didn't even ask you about choir. Thank you, Brian, for coming in where we fell short.
Yes, thank you.
Have you had any additional lost items suddenly show up out of the ether, Colleen?
Sadly, no. But if
There's always next week.
there's always next week.
How was the hotel escape, Amanda? It was delightful. Thank you for asking. Or has that happened yet? It did. You're on it, Brian. Don't worry. I'm currently testing myself for COVID. If I'm positive, I'm going to be pissed since I had it last month.
Oh.
Yeah. But anything is possible with the current subvariants of Omicron. I likely have my daughter's old school cold, but you can never tell these days. Ain't that the truth? I'm so sorry. In any case, I hope you're feeling better, whatever it is, COVID or cold. I hope you're feeling better.
Agreed.
Brian continues. I watched Prey last night and thought it was a lot of fun. Why wasn't this released in theaters? The scenery where they shot in Alberta was breathtaking. The sound well done and the acting solid. It needs to be seen in a theater! ! Amber Midthunder. Is that really?
That's her name.
Is that
yeah.
the actor's name or the character's name?
That's the actor's name. It was all native actors or indigenous actors.
That is awesome. Okay. Amber Midthunder. Oh my God. Amanda, read words. Amber Midthunder was stellar, and she and Dakota Beavers definitely have a relatable and believable brother-sister dynamic that I enjoyed. The dog, Sari?
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 I don't remember how it was pronounced, to be honest. I watched it Friday. It was like 3 whole days ago, 5 whole days ago, 4 whole days ago. I don't know, a week at this point that you're...
Tomato. Okay, so the dog's name, which I'm going to probably pronounce wrong, Sari, was fantastic. She is a rescue dog from a shelter in Atlanta, Fulton County Animal Services, sister to the shelter at which my eldest, why can't those words? Why are they so hard today? I don't know. Sister to the shelter, which my eldest and I volunteer. That is awesome. Coco was the name she was given at the shelter, and she was adopted in 2021 by a family specifically to be in this movie. That's really cool.
Yeah, and the cool thing is the dog was only supposed to be in a little bit of the movie, but the dog, he worked so well with like the trainers that they ended up being in, having a bigger role in the movie than anticipated, which is really
wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy to report the family is keeping her, according to the FCAS Facebook page.
Good, they better.
That is great. They posted a special update yesterday with photos of Coco at home chilling after the movie experience and thanking everyone for all the love. That's so sweet. I read that another movie used a dog from a shelter in Arizona. Awesome that shelter dogs are getting good press. Every shelter and rescue I know of is absolutely overwhelmed with animals given up over the past few months. Ugh, people. I know, right? At least Coco has a terrific story with a happy ending. Oh, all that. COVID negative. That's good. Hooray!
Hooray!
We went on this journey together.
You took 15 minutes to write that all up. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. I love everything about this email. I just have a raging cold, which should make flying all night Friday and all day Saturday a cornucopia of fun. Oh, you poor, poor soul. Back to the movie. I loved that they cast actors who are, oh God, another word. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, people. I'm going to pronounce this wrong. I just know it. Comanche?
That's how I read it.
That would be my guess too.
Okay. I read they shot parallel scenes in Comanche.
Oh, cool.
That is very cool. I need the clicking sound that the predator makes as a ringtone.
No, that is a scary sound. No, we do not need that.
Yeah. We need Shandy to translate what the French trappers were saying. I suspect it was nothing nice.
Send me a YouTube clip of just that.
Yeah. Or exact time code so I can fast forward.
Right.
My only fake critique is that Nehru, God, all these names. I am so sorry. Phonics was very hard for me. My only fake critique is that Nehru never said, "You are one ugly mother effer." I get that in 1719 there were no helicopters, therefore there was no reason for anyone to yell, "Get to the chopper."
Get to the chopper.
But they could have had Nehru yell, "Get me my chopper," in reference to her throwing eggs.
They did, but you know what? Her brother did have the line, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." So they didn't miss that opportunity.
Oh, this is going so very over my head. But anyway, I
somehow know the chopper line.
Yeah.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah, I did know. Yeah.
It's an Arnold line.
It's not a tumor.
Well, that's a different movie.
And I know, but pop culture, Schwarzenegger lines. Anyway, I digress. Missed opportunities to pay homage to the original and to Arnold. Perhaps they will release a director's cut. I've only seen the original of the second one with Danny Glover, so I don't know how it compares to the other entries in the series, but I thought this was better than the second movie. Colleen, what did your Predator Uber fan uncle think of it? Time to wrap this up and do a double shot of Dayquil. You all take care of yourselves. Until next time, your friendly neighborhood non-DP specialist, Brian.
Okay, so when I texted my uncle, "Have you watched it?" he responded with yes twice. He loved it. And so Jay and I watched it too, and also loved it. I would say I think I like this one better than the second one as well. And you guys know the get to the chopper scene. He's got the...
I don't. I just know the line because, that's like when people make fun of Arnold, that's one of the things that they pull up.
Okay, yeah. So... the movie takes place in 1719. They use all Comanche actors. It's except for the French people. And you know what? It's great. It's anytime you have one of these movies that breaks through the noise. That's a smaller movie with a smaller marketing and budget or whatever. they have one, like, to me, they always have one thing in common that I think all movies need to get back to, but thanks to Marvel, we'll never get back to that. And that is just, like, one straight plot point from beginning to end. It's simple. You have a protagonist, an antagonist, and, you know, somebody's trying to, like, survive or, you know, do whatever it is, like point A to point B, and there's not, like, extra noisy exposition plot points. And I think that is what a lot of people, from what I have read after I watched it, and I thought myself, is it's very simple. It's a story of, you know, Predator comes down. She's a really good tracker. She goes with the hunters, of the male hunters one day because they need to track something, and she's like the best tracker there. And, you know, she picks up on something that's off, that's different, that's not like anything that they've ever seen. Of course, nobody believes her, and then she's proven right because, you know, the alien predator is revealed, and all hell breaks loose, and then, you know, she plays a key role in helping defeat them, and it's very straightforward, to the point. It's pretty gory, though. So if you don't like gore, you might not like it. Spoiler alert, the only thing that I had seen to be spoiled about this movie beforehand was somebody had put on Twitter, I just started Prey, tell me if the dog dies because I'm going to turn it off if they do. And everyone was like, the dog doesn't die. And I was like, I had remembered that.
That's an okay spoiler to have.
So I remembered that. And like after the first scene, I was like, okay, Jay, I know the dog lives, so we can watch this movie.
Keep watching.
It's not like Mad Max, which nobody told me what Mad Max is about. And it's a fucking awful movie and I hate it. His wife and kid dies. His wife and baby dies. It's stupid. I fucking hate Mad Max. Like,
no, I don't need to know anything about it. We can stop.
Dumb. I hate watch that entire fucking movie and all of the sequels and even the Charlize one because I just hated it so much. Anyway.
That's the one that I've seen a little bit of, but only like 10
no,
minutes.
I haven't seen any of them.
Regardless, I knew the dog lived and I was okay with watching it. So,
That's fair.
It's a really good movie, though. Like, it's tight, it's well made, it's well edited, it's just, you know, fairly solid. I enjoy that even when the French people came on, like, most movies, like big studio movies, would have had a plot where, you know, they burned the village down for no reason, or would have, like, you know, raped her for no reason other than, like, it makes a story. And it didn't even go to any of those places. Like, it was just literally about surviving against a invisible predator, or, you know, an alien that can turn invisible and makes a weird clicking noise. I agree with all the things that Brian said. If you are a fan of the first one, and the second one's pretty good too, but like you're really gonna like this one, and I won't even say I think you will. Like, you're gonna like it. It, you know, has the same spirit as the Arnold one. It's just told, you know, very differently. Good times. And I'm glad that you don't have COVID.
Yes.
Agreed.
All right. Thanks, Brian. We'll see you on this side of the pond. Next up, we have an email from Greg, and it is feedback about our Stranger Things episode.
All right. Greg writes in, hey, Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. This is going back to the Stranger Things episode. I found it interesting that Amanda thinks that we will revisit the 2 days between Max's quote-unquote death slash resurrection and when Elle arrives home to visit her. I hadn't seen anyone else mention that possibility. While it is possible those 2 days are revisited, I don't believe anything that significant happened during it. I think the epilogue kind of fills that gap with what we need to know. As for the Elle crew, they drove back to Hawkins safely without incident. The Russia crew flies back safely. Hawkins' crew regroups and Max is taken to the hospital where she has been catatonic. For the minute she was dead, the Upside Down began to open and the town experienced earthquake-type effects. But now that Max is somewhere between life and death, her fate in limbo, I believe the full takeover of the Upside Down is also in limbo. I think if we revisit those 2 days, it's only going to see where Max was, assuming that wherever she is, that she is conscious and not just quote-unquote gone, as if she was passed out or something. Well, hey, Greg, I just read a whole book about where she might be.
See, you're not intrigued by that? Like, you don't think that's interesting? Like, I do.
Yeah.
Like, Vecna's a motherfucker. Like, he would have just been like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just go back in the upside down. Cool. My bad. Like, you know? Something went down. I want to know. How that happened.
Greg continues, I don't know, nothing seemed to imply anything else happened. It seemed to just be fallout from what we saw or people traveling. As for the whole season, episode 4 was the best of the season. Max's storyline was incredible, and Sadie Sink absolutely killed it. Her reading the letter at Billy's grave hit me hard, along with her character this season in general. A teenager dealing with the trauma of death and depression by coping with music, that was me. That's still me at times. Then the letter hit in a way I did not expect. I won't go into details, but a lot of what she said could be things I would say to my dead brother or my estranged sister. I found the Callie group was easily the weakest part of the season. Elle in the lab worked better for me, but also not great. But I did enjoy one's reveal monologue.
Agree with all this.
I'm a sucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for scenes like that. The rest of the stuff was pretty underwhelming. I did like Hopper's whole I'm the curse speech. I would have to assume that Hopper plays a critical role in the end game of the show, as his story was really disconnected and almost pointless. I have to believe they have a good reason for not really killing him off beyond not wanting to kill a main character. The Hawkins story was clearly the best of the bunch with some of the best characters: Max, Steve, Robin, Dustin, and Nancy. This may be controversial, but I think Eddie is super overrated.
Yeah.
Ooh, those are fighting words.
You take that back.
He was fine. Like, I don't have anything to bash him about or anything, but I confess I do not get the huge reaction to the character. I think his story would have been a more interesting character if they had kept Chrissy alive and together for the season. Not romantically, just both in it together somehow. Their seemingly opposite lives seem to connect, and I think that would have been a great story and dynamic to see played out for more than 2 scenes. I do agree. It would have been nice to see them together.
I don't know. I feel...
But she had to...
She had to die.
I feel like how you feel about this, Greg, is how I feel about wanting to see what happened in those 2 days. I feel like how you're feeling about that, that's how I'm feeling about it. Agree to disagree.
And Greg continues, and I get why Eddie thought drawing the bats to him made sense. Like, I see his logic in the moment, but as an audience member, it feels his sacrifice was mostly pointless. I am on your side on that, Greg. Which was maybe the point, to make it more tragic, but it just came across more to me that the Duffers were committed to killing him, whether it fully tracked or not. Yeah. I'm definitely an outlier when it comes to Eddie, so I don't expect a lot of people to agree with me on that. I really enjoyed the theme of dealing and struggling with trauma and the ways that various people cope with it.
Yeah.
The weekend, because, like, they're all so traumatized, obviously.
Yeah.
The weekend the first batch came out also had Obi-Wan and Top Gun Maverick released. Both also dealt with trauma and loss and finding a way forward. So seeing all of that within like 30 hours, I was really pleased with it all. I was almost underwhelmed with the last 2 episodes. The way they hinted at so many different characters potentially dying just to revert to killing the new likable character was just kind of underwhelming to me. Like, you have 1 season left. It's time to kill off a couple main players as the cast continually expands. Is it, though? Do we have to kill them?
Yeah, do we have to kill them all?
Yeah, let's not.
Yeah. We don't.
I saw an article today that the Duffer Brothers said that the final season's going to focus more on the core characters. They're not going to expand even more.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they've really set up where we're going.
Yeah, give us all the Murray, though.
Yeah, that's true. Murray can stay. All the other new characters, they gotta go.
Yeah.
Putting Max in a coma is at least a little different and puts her fate in limbo still. That does show some consequences for a main character, but killing her for a minute to kind of roll it back right away feels a little cheap still.
I don't know. I disagree. I cried during that minute, Brock.
Yeah.
But again, at least it wasn't a full-on resurrection as if nothing happened. She is in a coma type state. Unless she was conscious, she talks as if she was paralyzed. I fell in love with her character this season, and now that they didn't kill her, I really want her to recover and be okay. She's been through enough. No kidding.
Yeah, agreed.
As for next season, I feel like it was confirmed or at least heavily rumored that there will be a time jump of some sort, which seems like weird timing.
Aaron had emailed us.
Oh, there's a time jump. Whatever.
Just these kids are like, you know.
Yeah,
they can like rent cars now or something.
Get it.
Which seems like a weird timing given Hawkins has split open. That's fair, but they're like, 25 now.
Here's my prediction. The final season, it's not going to be, the Billy Joel Songs from Italian Restaurant?
Yeah.
So we're going to live through, like, Brenda and Eddie, but it's going to be Eleven and Mike, and they've, like, gotten married, gotten divorced already.
Occasionally fight the Upside Down.
Yeah, exactly.
Just beat the hellhounds back into the chasms that they come from.
I'm just saying. Anyway, apologies. Continue.
Craig continues, but with the takeover seemingly on hold, perhaps years can pass as our characters deal with the fallout and prepare for Vecna's inevitable return. This reminds me, I need to cancel my Netflix until season 5 comes out. Have a good week, broads.
Thank you.
Watch Russian Doll, then cancel your Netflix.
Oh yeah, watch Russian Doll. Good thinking, Amanda.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Greg, for that email. I think we kind of answered it as we went along.
Indeed.
But season 5 cannot come fast enough.
I know. I'm back into it, man.
I am.
I'm down that rabbit hole.
I miss them all. I do. I truly do. Even Will's stupid haircut. I miss the haircut. I miss it all.
Yeah. Oh, it's a really unfortunate haircut.
It's just, and they made him do it.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Will's got enough.
Will has enough going
on his plate. He does not need bad hair too.
I can only hope that since they're making him do the bad haircut, that it's gonna pay off in the end, where he's gonna have something. Like the only thing I can think of. So
I don't know if it's just because it's like he grew so drastically. So they're like, oh, we got to do something to like keep him like youngish. Like he shot up 1.5 feet and like,
right.
Yeah, they're just like, oh. Like,
no, I think they just want to portray that Will is in a phase of his life where he's trying to figure out who he is.
Where he's awkward.
He's awkward. He's kind of stuck in between. Like his friends are growing up and he still is like, just kind of trying to figure out who he is, and like having that haircut kind of just keeps Will being like, something like who he is.
So, like any other insecure teenager, they gave him bad bangs.
Yes, because that's a rite of passage. And if 11 has to keep shaving her hair, she can't have the bad bang rite of passage.
Someone has to have the bad bangs. Poor Will, he got the short straw.
He did. The Dever brothers were like, "Hey Noah, you're cool, right?" And Noah's like, "Huh?" They're like, "Yeah, you're 15. Shut the fuck up." Yeah.
So we've talked about it, and sorry, buddy, you're the one with the bangs this season.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, thank you, Greg, for all of that. We appreciate it. If anybody else has any feedback about any of our, episodes, we would love to hear it, no matter when you send it in. And then we're going to finish up with an update in Andy's Virginia, and for the very first time ever, I am going to read it.
Ever? Wow.
History was made tonight, everyone. History. Andy says, "Hey, Rods, still nothing to report on my personal life, but I saw something in the news recently to make you feel glad that at least you 3 aren't single. It's another conservative dating app." That's right. I heard about this on the podcast. You may have heard about this, but it is called The Right Stuff. Get it? I'm sure they all patted themselves on the back for that. Several weeks over that. It's set to launch next month, and it's only for cis-het people. 'Cause it's the right stuff. The people behind it seem to be exclusively connected to Trump, too. And the guy behind PayPal. Like Elon Musk or the other dude?
Oh, gross.
Because Elon Musk said today that he was buying Manchester United because I don't know.
Because why not?
Because he got high again. I don't know.
Yeah. At this point, why not?
Why not? So, if you need to break up with your husband/long-term partner, I understand. Apparently, they're looking for women to join the invitation-only site. Here's an article about it. So, it's a Peter
Imagine
Thiel.
why.
Peter Thiel backs conservative dating site The Right Stuff. Oh my God, this is just like China, where, they're looking for women.
Right.
... Anyway, Andy continues. Also, I found this site called the Clit Test, which is all about raising awareness for more accurate sex scenes in TV and movie. Looks like they're putting the campaign on hold for now, but the site is still up. And it is www.theclittest, which looks like the clitist.com. Well, that's it for me now. Hopefully I'll have some kind of update soon or some more sites that you may be interested. Hashtag I'm with hers and his septic tank, Andy. Good time.
The clitist.
Oh, it does look like the clitist, though, right?
It does.
It does. It does.
Huh.
Well,
This
when
looks very interesting.
It does look very interesting. I will also put this website in the show notes if you want to check it out. And whenever it's like back up and active or whatever, the campaign, we could maybe talk about it again. So, the premise is we know that the vast majority of cis women don't orgasm from penetrative sex, but you wouldn't know that from the sex that we see on screen. The Clit Test celebrates sex scenes that reflect that the clitoris is a central part of sexual pleasure for most people with vulvas, and we hope this will inspire others. Not all women have clits, and not all those who have clits are women. If a person has a clit, chances are it'll be wanting some love. But trans and non-binary people will have different relationships with their anatomy depending on a range of factors, including their own relationship with their gender identity or their type of transition. Blah, 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 blah. Keeps going. We'll stop there, though. Go to the website if you want to read more. ...
Till next time.
Anyway, I will say, though, I always think when there are sex scenes and they, like, orgasm at the same time together, I'm like, that's not real.
That's no.
No.
Decidedly
No.
not.
No.
The end. All right. On that note, thanks, Andy. We appreciate that. I will link to those things that Andy sent us in the show notes, so go check those out. But yeah, I think that about brings us to the end of this rodeo tonight. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for playing. We hope that the patrons at the Hangout level will join us next week live. If you'd like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/JayandJack, and we'll, come say hi. It's almost time for Halloween, so you know me. That means we're going to start planning our Halloween episode. And I am very excited because I have already pulled things for our Halloween episode. Spooky shit.
Oh my.
Be
Ooh.
prepared. Oh, I've had this ready since January, guys. Not
Okay, that sounds accurate.
Anyway, don't forget to watch Russian Doll and send us in your feedback for September 6th. So thank you to the patrons, especially the ones that contribute a certain level. And there will be Eckhart Rigner, Tack from Tokyo /France, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with a Plan, and Ed the Creepy Poopy Head Mailman. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. Feedback. We love feedback. You can send us an email, thebroadcasters3@gmail.com, or give us a call, 331-276-2373. And I think that's about all I have. Anybody else have anything?
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. On that note, my name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.